I wonder if it has something to do with the humidity today or temperature?
May actually be.
Good afternoon. I'm still searching for my papers and I apologize. Any place that men and women meet to acknowledge the highest truth is holy ground. This is truly holy ground, where we pause to join in collective gratitude. I'm Kara Seekings, and on behalf of the Lilydale Assembly and our 144th season, I welcome you to our season today. Who is here for the first time? To you we say, welcome to Lilydale. To the rest of you we say, welcome home. And next year we'll be saying the same thing to you who are new this year. One of the things I do here is I'm Vice President of Lilydale Assembly. And believe me, on behalf of the entire Assembly, we appreciate your bravery, your courage, and your dedication to visit for your own spirituality. We will do our very best to keep you safe. We will ask you to wear a mask when you're within 6 feet of another person. While you are sitting here in the auditorium and seated, you may have your mask dropped down. If you get up or start to walk around, please put it back up. Now, the fans are single-person use. Take it with you. It is a gift from the Women's Day Committee. We are a group of women who reenact here in Lilydale, where action took place in New York State. The first dollar was given here in this very building, and no, I was not here. Although my ultra personality, as a reenactor, I portray Marion Skidmore, who founded our library, and I'm telling you, she was here. Women like Elizabeth Cady Stanton wrote dialogue, monologues for Susan B. Anthony to perform on this very stage. The first scholar for the New York State Women's Convention was given right here in Lilydale, New York, by a gentleman whose name was Albert Cobb from Denver. So we have a long, and then my friend Marion Skidmore, as I say, she founded the Women's Equality Party in Chautauqua County. So we have a long history, but spiritualism's history is not dependent just on that. So when it's my turn to speak today, we're going to talk about those rousing spiritualists anyway. We are people who believe in equality. Down and join me for the invocation. Mother, Father, God, infinite creator of all that is, was, and ever will be, we gather today in joyous celebration. In peace, we open up our hands in fists of greed. In peace, we enjoy, savor, remember, reflect. Not overlook, forget, ignore, or reject. In peace, we exercise kindly stewardship of the earth's resources, not ruin the heritage of our future generations. In peace, we radiate light into unseen places. In peace, we are beacons who are grateful for our blessings, our opportunities, and the joys of our lives. Now, on the platform, there are often flowers and ferns. These are memorial and in honorarium donations. You may join our group of donators by calling the office at 595. Let's see if I can really do this. 595-8721. Or going on our website. Or sending an email. We're happy to arrange the flowers to put on the platform. And then we announce from this stage every day who they are in honor and in memory of. We think it's a very special thing to be able to honor our loved ones this way. Again, we are not going to stand. We are going to sit exactly where we are, and we are going to sing the song, New Age Vision, so that we raise the vibration for the speaker today.
Why is the sea the
join us in having a good time. Angela gets now to trade places to introduce me.
Yes. And it's important to have fun, right? It really is. Okay, so I would like to introduce you to our speaker for today. It's Kara Seekings. Kara Seekings is a registered nurse, nursing instructor, herbalist, aromatherapist, color energy therapist, ordained minister, and registered metaphysician. She has multiple master's degrees, is a 2013 Stanford Fellow, taught psychology at the college level for 17 years, and has been a practicing hypnotherapist for more than 40 years. She is the owner of Herbal Restoration. Kara is the author of Ladies of Lilydale, an 11th century Irish cookery. While teaching online for Reiki Awakening Academy, she frequently teaches for local groups. She is a medium and healer, a lecturer, teacher, past secretary of the Lilydale Assembly Board of Directors. Her honors include New York State Nurse of Distinction Award, Who's Who in American Nursing, and Educator of the Year Awards. And I give you Kara Seekings.
Thank you. Well, folks, the joke about me is that I have to be paid to shut up. So I will try to keep one eye on the time so I don't get too lengthy. Many years ago, I said to someone, I'm always concerned with exactly how much to say when someone hires me for a program or whatever. And they said, well, my rule is enough to cover the subject, but not enough to glaze over anyone's eyes. So I always have kept an eye on the first row, so when I'm staring at you ladies, I'm checking for glazing. Okay. Now that said, I am lots of things, because I'm incredibly curious. And also I couldn't decide what to be when I grew up. And let me reassure you, at 70-some years old, I have not grown up. I hated being retired. Actually, I hated everything about it, and I opened an herb shop because I hated it so much. I went back to work. I currently teach nursing students. It's a whole world new of online technological kinds of things that, of course, I don't even know the language of. But through all that, it has occurred to me. I also, by the way, just to further complicate my life, agreed to be vice president of the Lilydale Assembly last year. Which, had I known COVID was coming, I might have made much different decisions. But anyway, through all of that, it came to me that I'd like to tell you I'm an exception as a spiritualist. Not so. Us darn spiritualists, we tend to be curious. We're truth seekers. What works for me today and is my truth might not be it 3 weeks from now when I've had new experiences and I hate the lessons word. Something about the word lesson seems very punitive. So I've had new experiences, I've had new examples of what works and what doesn't. My truth may have changed. And when I look at spiritualists as a whole, that runs deep through us. Because the very first thing, well, I probably shouldn't say the first thing. The first thing spiritualists believe, no matter what spiritualist church or for example, there's the General Assembly of Spiritualists, and there's the SNU, which doesn't come to me at the moment, but it is the SNU. There's the ISF, IFS, Independent Federation. There's the National Association. And there are independent spiritualist churches. No matter, they share two things in common. No matter what principles you read on their wall, and this, by the way, on our wall are our children's principles, but no matter what principles they have, they contain two things. Number one, we believe in God. And that's amazing to some people. I said once to someone here who said to me, "You're so normal." And I thought, my dear heart, this is normal. Your life is a mess. But I managed to bite my tongue and not say anything that crass. But it hit me that if you were to talk to almost any spiritualist here, and this was confirmed, by the way, when I wrote Ladies of Lilydale, because I only asked two questions: what brought you here and what keeps you here? And I found the same thing underlying through all of it. People came home. They were comfortable. They felt secure. That's because, you know what? We as spiritualists spend our whole childhood as blue-nosed weirdos. We don't fit in well. Or we're wonderful chameleons who have a great facade and fit in beautifully. I grew up as I'm the oldest of 7 children. So, of course, role modeling is considered my way. But I also understood in that being the oldest of 7, not only did I have personal responsibility, I'd only liked to have only had personal responsibility. But we learned early on, we are our brother's keeper, folks. We are. I promise you, if one of you fall off that chair right now, as old and if we choose fear, it's a lot like choosing stagnation. And what happens in stagnation? Anatomically, psychologically, spiritually, when the body is stagnating, we are triune beings. We do not fare well. Something goes to heck in a handbasket. We are not good with stagnation. We need homeostasis. Now, we're perfectly okay because as spiritualists, we have a long and fabulous history of sticking our nose where it probably doesn't belong. But in doing it for the right reasons, in the right timing, and not being afraid. Many of the early abolitionists were spiritualists. It took a lot, whatever your feelings are about society today and what a mess, etc. It just to stand up against slave owners, to stand up and say, give up your cash crop. That took a great deal. It took bravery and courage and the ability not only to know right from wrong, but to take action. Then we turn around, and of course, many spirits were temperance. And some of you are aware that the very first temperance union was in Fredonia, New York, right up the road 8 miles. Many of the women saw too many of their friends, family, and their children abused and neglected because of alcohol and drunkenness. How do you think those women felt walking into a gin mill? Most of them had never been in a gin. And we're talking about women whose husbands probably never saw them naked. We are talking about women in a very reticent and different time. Yet they walked into gin mills swinging their axes and running their mouths. And we weren't able to cure the problem, but we made some strides. One of the things that happens to us most frequently as women, we have a long history of backing off. Come on, guys, we like to keep peace. We know things run more smoothly when we're kind of in a homeostasis, when our families, my rule is the happier mama is, the better your life is. So things run better then. They run more smoothly. Every now and then we have a kiddo who's leaving the nest and keeping things wild up. But we try to keep things not conflict-free, but at least moving forward. I always think that's more our jobs as people than anything. We get so stuck in people ruts. He said, she said, he said, she said. He thinks, she thinks, he thinks, she thinks. Neil spoke, Dr. Neil Zetkowski spoke a few days ago on propagation, but not the kind you think. But it was propagation. Propagation, are you propagating propaganda? And I thought, how interesting. We as women, and I'm not excluding Herb and Nick because I have 6 sons and I firmly believe that we raise children to understand equality, justice, and fairness. We do not raise children to understand boy and girl. Okay? So because my beliefs are strong that way, just like Albert Cobb, and I happen to know one of these guys and the mother of the other one, so just like Albert Cobb, I would expect support from them. But we as women have to show these guys are not mind readers, and nor is the political world. We have to be there. We have to be mindful. We can't keep licking our wounds about what happened before. What happened before is we, ladies, did not pass the Equal Rights Amendment. Women defeated the vote. That means I currently make 88 cents for every dollar a man makes in New York State. Well, that fries me, and I'm sure it would fry any of you in your state. We have to speak up, make our needs known, make what we believe in be important. Children don't learn prejudice anywhere but at home initially, because you're the first person they learn from. And it isn't just, it's things like, I was listening to somebody the other day who was talking about their 10-year-old who finds them rather strange. And I said, well, I have to tell you, when my youngest son went away to private school, he said to me, Mom, I want a picture to take with me. And at that time, I was raising pygmy goats. So we took a picture of me in the goat pen and sent it. And he didn't say a word. Then he wrote back, geez, you're so weird. Then his roommate said, boy, your mom is cool. Amazing change in status from you're so weird. But that's another thing we as women must do. We are not chameleons, folks. We don't change colors because I'm behind this podium. I am who I am. Now, there are people here in Lilydale who would be happy to tell you that every now and then it would be nice if I shut up, which is probably the absolute truth. But in my case, 2 things I promise you. You never have to wonder what I think. I'm happy to put it out there. And the other piece is, I will always put it out there where you feel it concerns me. I would like us to adopt Ram Dass's "We are all just walking each other home," but I would like us to adopt it with a little addition. We're all just walking each other home and keeping our mouths shut. Being free to advise someone else does not mean you are advocating. Advocating means that you are not afraid to stand up and support your opinion publicly. When you're with the friend folks, it really, I say to people, you spell advocating and nagging very differently. It's the same thing. How many of you understand the eye roll? Okay. As my kids were growing up, when I just really couldn't, this was the last nerve, I would roll my eyes. Now, one of my things, since my children are all grown, is to not do that. Because it becomes very reflexive, and I don't want to do that to another adult. I'm looking at them and they're saying something and I roll my eyes back in my head like I'm some kind of nutcase. But we don't think about what that will say or do in communication. So advocating means we stand up and we clearly put forth our message, just as the spiritualist men and women before us have done. After they were so active in temperance, they have always been, of course, free thinkers. And we believe that God gives us free will. God doesn't make my mess, I do. And that case considered, I need to be prepared to fix it. We believe. We profess no dogma or creed. None. When I say to you, we believe, I believe each of you must define the God of your own understanding. And I wouldn't mind if you shared it with me because I'm not sure I figured mine out yet. I believe that by discussing things and communicating, even if I think your opinion is absolutely the other end of lost, I owe you the respect and the dignity to hear it. In Lilydale, as free thinkers, what that means is I don't ever have to care for what your opinion is, but I must support your right not only to have it, but to express it freely, without ridicule or anything like that. The only time I ever prescribe ridicule for any of us, we must learn to see the humorous turnings of life. Because mostly we get so focused on the yuckos that we fail to see the good things. And I have just been chatting away like we're old friends, and some of you are friends. This is what a spiritualist looks like, folks. I have a card in my wallet to prove it. This is who we are. We're your neighbors. We're your friends. We're the teachers of your children. We're the clerks in your necessities store. We're your nurses, your physicians. We are people who, in very basic language, are spiritual beings having a human experience, mostly making a mess of it. But we do the best we can to guide our lives by those principles. Thank you for your time and attention. And I'm back again in the other room. An old friend of mine years ago, many years ago, I smoked tobacco. 4 more years than I'm here to stand up here and confess to, okay? But when I finally quit, I said to my friend, I'm never smoking again. I gotta tell you guys, obviously it isn't because I have fabulous self-will. I said, because I'm never quitting again. And that's one of the things that I think makes you a spiritual. You haven't got that sense, sit down and quit. So in that case, I suspect many of you are really spiritual. So this is the time that normally we would pass our collection basket. But again, because of wanting to be COVID careful, we're not doing that. So the basket is over on the counter as you're leaving. We appreciate greatly any donations made to support this historic auditorium. It was built in 1883. We have tried our best to keep the original work of the auditorium in place while we try to do a few improvements like electric lights and things like that. So we continue to use the money to refurnish the auditorium. If you look around, you can see there are a million projects we would like to do. And some unseen as well. So we're grateful. So if on your way out you're in a position where you could make a donation, we would be grateful. If you're watching us online, if you look on your streaming, there is a donate button. And we're always happy to accept a donation on it. Now again, because I am an old-fashioned spiritualist, I know that we will have blessings for the donations. So we will bless them. Infinite, non-limited source of all that is. Bless these gifts and those who give them. May the givers be blessed 1,000-fold, and the gifts be wisely used in the search for truth. We give grateful thanks for the abundance that is flowing to each of us and to Lilydale Assembly. There is always something to do in Lilydale. 4 o'clock today, I'm betting you anything, the 4 o'clock message service will be at the stump. But when you're here in Lilydale, you always want to listen for the auditorium bells. If you hear the bells at 1 or at 4, that means the stump service is here. Sometimes if the wind is high or we're afraid of a lot of rain or bad weather, we'd like to keep you safely out of the Leyland Wood. It's an old-growth forest, folks, and essentially what that means is we don't harvest anything from it. And you just never know when something's going to fall over. So that if you hear the bell at 1 or 4, it's here. We have a couple of things open to do. The bookstore is open, which is right outside the store. Up on East Street, which if you go up any of the hills, East Street is the street way out there. Once upon a Thursday, which is a lovely little gift shop, is open, as is the bargain shop. Some of you have been in the bargain shop in the past, and I noticed Bob has his normal, wonderfully collection of stuff. I love to go in there. I just love it because there's just something for everybody. Now, also, you're welcome to enjoy a meal at the Bauhaus. They are obeying the governor's restrictions. And this is the first time in many, many, many years that Lilydale has actually operated the pagoda itself. So we have our very own ice cream shop right down here in the pagoda. And stop and have ice cream. It's delicious. Watch the one called something, the one it has shoots of blue in it. It's a little tougher than I expected. There's a tang to it. Our beach is open. Now the beach is open daily until 6. I always like to remind our guests, the lifeguards are the boss of the beach. And so, if they ask you to do something pleasantly, please do. The ferry trail is open, as are our public gardens. If you're coming by my house on North Street, you'll see a bench in my front garden. Feel free to sit on it. Most people who put things like that out there are not suggesting you don't use them. Also, the forest trails are all available. Celeste Elliott and I a few weeks ago did a wonderful forest bathing meditation out on the Stump Trail, including a tea service at the Stump. We had a great time. So make use of those trails as well. The restrooms. There are restrooms available in the red building right here, outside the auditorium. My only thing, and I say this with humor, but if you've got any size like me, they are very small in that building. They are very small. There are much nicer sized restrooms up at the fire hall and also in the healing. And the ones in the healing temple are all accessible. So please feel free to use those. We do appreciate you being so cognizant of our need for safety and keeping all of us safe and masks. Now, I said to today's meeting, do you have a Bible here? And the poor thing, no one told her to bring a Bible. So, I'm going to, after we sing Higher Ground, we're going to stay seated because I'm sweating just standing here. We're going to sing Higher Ground. We're doing this because we want to raise the vibration for Angela. Remember, she works on a sound vibration. Service and you really don't plan to serve, you have a friend with you or someone and you get up to leave and someone says, no, don't leave. You want to see this next gal work. And, folks, I'm old and cranky, and I said, yeah, well, she looks like a nice person. She said, no, stay. And that person was Angie Ack. Not the one restraining me, the one I wanted to see work. And you know what? My friend was absolutely right. I have been around metaphysics, and rarely do I get a chance to see a medium I don't know easily and accurately. I walked away that day from the stump impressed. And now I'm going to let Angie Ack tell you the rest of her story.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Alrighty, now. She is a 2002 graduate of Fellowships of the Spirit School of Spiritual Healing and Prophecy. She received her degree in Human Services with a concentration in Counseling and Psychology in 2005. She has been a practicing medium for over 30 years. Angie currently has her own thriving mediumship and spiritual counseling practice in Buffalo, New York, where for the past 12 years she's taught meditation and intuitive development. Prior to 2002, Angie worked as a customer relations manager in various industries for over 21 years. Raise those vibrations for today's medium, Angie Ack.
Thank you, everybody. So, I'm going to start out with a prayer, okay? And for me, I see things, I get feelings, and I get words. I'm going to give it to you. Notice what you have on, because I'm going to call on you and say the person with the blue shirt or what have you. So, okay. Oh God, as we open the door to communication, in unity of the Holy Spirit, the great I Am presence of the universe, we give thanks, for we know that the words spoken are filled with your love, truth, wisdom, and understanding of highest. Amen. So I'd like to come all the way. You have a blue scarf around your neck. It looks like blue. I can't see that far. Yes. Yep. You. Yep. Okay. Can I get your first name? Kelly. Okay. So Kelly, as I step in with you, I'm very aware of a woman from the spirit side of life standing behind you, okay? And I feel like this is a grandmotherly presence is what it feels like to me, okay? And she shows me that you spent a lot of time with her, and I feel like especially when you were younger, okay? I feel like she was kind of like somebody that you like sort of mentored yourself, or if you were looking at somebody like, who am I modeling myself after in my life now? I feel like she would be one of those people. Would you understand? Okay, all right, and she's got a big smile on her face. She's so happy to see you, and I feel like she was every time you went over to see her. You know, I could see her going, get over here and giving a big hug, you know. And one of the things that I feel was so wonderful about being with her for you is you could be yourself with her, okay? And, you know, we all have that, like there are certain people that we have to be different ways or what have you, but with her, you could feel safe and just kind of go, oh, I can just be me, okay? And she's talking about like your uniqueness, your unique personality that you had when you were little, okay? That I feel like for you, it was you would ask lots of questions. I could see question marks, you know. And she's saying, you know, you never accept black and white answers. You wanted more, okay? And she shows me like, look how wonderful that is, because you know the way that you've questioned things and not just accepted, say that the black and white of it, if you will, okay, I feel like that's taken you further in your life, okay? And I see you kind of almost being at a crossroads right now is kind of what she's showing me, all right? As you're trying to make a decision, do I or don't I? Does that make sense? Okay, all right, okay. And she says, you know, one of the ways feels to me like it's more logical, okay? And one of the ways is more heart-centered, okay? Which I always feel like that's our intuition, comes from our heart, okay? And she's showing me, you know, it feels so much. Either way, you'd be okay. I feel like either way. But I feel like you're kind of at a point of, I want to be happy, okay? And so I feel like it's, if you go in the way of your heart, that's what's going to bring you happiness, okay? And know that she's with you and she will help you every step of the way, okay? And I'll leave that with you with lots of light and love. Watch for cardinals. She's showing me cardinals. I saw that really quick. She leads you cardinals, okay? All right. Okay. All right. Okay. How about, can I step in with you? You're right here by yourself in the last row. Yes. I can't say the person looking at me because you all are, right? Okay. So, and your first name? Chris. Okay, so Chris, you know what I feel as I step in with you, I see the word decisions, and all these question marks over your head too. As I just said that with her, is I feel like you're trying to make some decisions as well, and I want to talk about work, and I want to talk about career with you, if that makes sense. And I keep on feeling like, and actually I have to bring another grandmotherly presence in as well, okay, standing behind you. And she's saying there's no way you could go to something like this and she wouldn't be here. Like I feel like she's kind of been waiting all day to get to come in and say hi to you. And I saw bluebirds or blue jays with her, so I feel like you should pay attention when you're seeing those, okay? Now she's showing me that this next step for you in regards to work or career feels to you like it's this big giant step like that big, you know, or bigger, okay? And she's showing me that really, I feel like this next step, you've already kind of been doing it, okay, for a while anyway. So it's not, it's kind of, there's always a hesitation because anything we do that's different brings about a change, okay? So I feel like you're sort of hesitating with that. But I kind of feel with everything we've gone through in these last few months is I feel that maybe, like, say we've all had to pull within a little bit, that I feel like one of the things you've discovered is that you kind of need that change, okay? So I want to say she's kind of showing me that when you take it, you'll find it's not so hard after all, and I feel like just take it, and you're going to find yourself, like, more connected. It feels to me like your life's purpose, okay? I'm seeing healer over your head, so I feel like some kind of healer or some kind of healing energy around you, which could be many different things, but that's what I feel you're doing, very much wanting to help people is huge for you, okay? The one thing I'm hearing, and I'm feeling this from Spirit Guide and Grandma, is make sure you give so much to other people. You're such a giver, and I'm feeling like, and then make sure that when you're making your list of all the things that you have to do and everybody that you want to give to, that I feel make sure you give to yourself as well. Put yourself on that list. That's important, okay? Do you understand? Okay. I'll leave that with you with lots of light and love. Okay. You know what I forgot to say is, you know, when we do public work, if you hear a message that I'm giving to somebody else and you feel like, wow, that sounds like my message, guess what? It is, okay? Spirit works that way all the time when there's a lot of people so that everybody gets messages, okay? I forgot to say. I always say that at my stuff and I forgot. Okay, so can I step in with you? I like your dress. I have to get some dresses. They're cooler. So can I get your first name? Chris. Okay, Chris. So as I'm stepping in with you, I'm aware of a gentleman standing behind you. Okay, and it feels like a fatherly vibration to me, father or grandfather. Do you understand both on the other side? Okay. All right, yeah. I sort of feel like they're both kind of coming in together, okay? And I feel like your father was such a good man. He was a good man. Like, I can see him standing like he's standing tall and standing proud, and I feel like Grandpa's standing. It almost feels like that one was maybe a little bit taller, but around the same height, okay? So I can see them, both of them, and they're talking about you, and they're talking about how proud they are of you, and they're talking about how, there's, like your father's saying, you have to always make sure that you stand as tall and proud as we do. And they're saying that you do, okay, but also they're also kind of saying, like we all do, sometimes we always expect more from ourselves, okay? So they're saying that for you sometimes, I feel like at the end of the night, you go to bed and you think about everything you didn't get done, okay, instead of thinking about everything you did get done, okay? And I feel like they're saying, especially your dad loved you so much. Like, I feel like apple of his eye and all kinds of sayings like that is what he wants to convey to you. And he's saying he wants you to pat yourself on the back just the way he does. I feel like he was almost like a, I see pom-poms like a cheerleader, and he's saying I never would have had pom-poms, you know. But I feel like he was a big cheerleader for you always, and encouraging you to follow your dreams, okay? And he's saying, you know, maybe like if we went back 10 years ago, you might not have been as much, okay? But I sort of feel like in the last 4 or 5 years or so, it feels to me like you're kind of on a path and you're saying, I'm going to follow my dreams, you know, and I'm going to do what's right for me. And I feel like as you're doing that, you're finding a lot more happiness for yourself and more happiness that you give to others as well. Okay, so I want to say that they're saying keep doing that. Know that your dad is with you all of the time. I feel like he comes to you in dreams. I don't know if you remember the dreams, but I feel like he does, and he's saying, we have conversations just like we had when I was here. You know, he loved having a conversation with you because you have an interesting mind, he's saying, and he did too. Okay, so I'll leave that with you with lots of light and love. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, so all the way in the back you have the mask on and long, pretty hair. Yes. What's your first name? Denise. Okay, so Denise, as I'm stepping in with you, there's a woman standing behind you, okay? I feel like she has both hands on her shoulders, on your shoulders, not hers, yours, okay? And almost like she had a presence to her. Like I feel like, you know, some people walk in a room and you don't notice them, and I feel like she walked in a room and you noticed her. And she's saying, I wasn't quiet, so that's part of it, okay? But I also feel like there was just something about her and something about, she just had that presence, you know, you just, you know, and she was a smart woman. She's talking about how smart she was, and she had opinions, and she didn't just give opinions. Like, I feel like she studied things, you know, she didn't just give an opinion that she didn't know anything about, she knew, all right? I feel with her, okay, that you understand? Okay, all right, so I feel with her that she's encouraging you, and she's saying, you know, because I feel like sometimes you give your opinions, and sometimes you hold back. You know, and it's almost where I could see you saying, well, I don't want to interfere, you know, and I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to get involved in the situation, and I like to be supportive to people, and, you know, I don't want to be known as somebody that gives not good opinions, if you will. All right, and she's saying, think about her, because because I feel like a lot of times she gave an opinion, again, she knew about it, but I feel like she didn't mind ruffling feathers, okay? And I feel like she's kind of saying, give your opinions. You don't have to be as bold and direct as she was, but give your opinions, because a lot of times when she did that, she changed things and changed situations and helped people and made things better, okay? So I feel whatever the situation is around your life, okay, that I see you kind of stepping back and saying, no, I'm not going to say anything, I feel like you should say it. Okay, understand? Oh, okay. Yeah, she's saying I definitely gave my opinions and to you. So, all right, and I'll leave that with her. She's saying you're very kind because you always just let her say what she had to say. Then she's saying you were smart too, because sometimes you let them go in one ear and out the other, and that was good. That was good, all right? And I'll leave that with you with lots of light and love. Okay. All right, so you're all the way in the back with shorter hair, like a pink top on? Okay, and your first name?
Vicky.
Nikki?
Vicky.
Vicky, okay. So Vicky is, okay, very much there's a gentleman standing behind you, okay, and another, I just talked about somebody with presence, and I feel like it's like I had to go to you because he was standing there saying, I want to talk to her, okay? And I feel this feels like a fatherly presence to me, okay? I feel like he was another person that had presence. I feel like he was tall. I feel like it's like he would leave the house in the morning and he looked nice, but by the time he came home, he was kind of rumpled, you know? Because I feel like it was like, that's all right, my tie. I'm going to take it off or what have you. I don't even know if sometimes he wore hats, but I keep on feeling like I'm seeing hats as well with him, okay? He had a great sense of humor, okay? I feel like he used his humor a lot of times to make a point. So if he wanted to make a point, he did it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So he's saying, I don't know if he's, I keep keep seeing smoke too, so I feel like maybe he might have smoked a cigar or something. Okay, I don't know what it was, but I see smoke. And I feel like he's saying, you've been feeling him around lately. Okay, like I feel like he's been on your mind, and you've been thinking about him. Okay, and he's saying, you're trying to, like sometimes when we're trying to make decisions or there's changes going on in our lives, it's like we feel like we're by ourselves. And he's saying, you're never by yourself. I'm not far ever. You know, and all you really have to do is call out to me, okay? And he's saying, talk to me like in that mind language thing, and he'll talk back to you. And I feel like you'll hear him because he wasn't quiet, you know? So he's saying, he's just reminding you of that. He's saying everything's going to be fine. I feel worried, like I feel like you're worried about a few things or worried about a few situations. And he's saying everything is going to be fine, that you'll see over this next couple months, things are going to be, I heard bright as rain. Okay, so I just feel like things are going to kind of smooth out and kind of get back to whatever this normal, I don't want to say normal, new normal, right? That I feel like things are going to be, and he's saying it's fine. And he's with you. I feel like he's in the house all the time. I don't know if you notice flickering lights ever. Yeah, he does. He thinks that's kind of fun. Like, I feel like he's having a pretty good time on the other side. Like, you know, he's like, I figured out how to do this, and I figured out how to do that. And I don't know if he liked television, but I keep feeling like I'm seeing the television, and I don't know if you've had issues there where it's gone off, and then you had to turn it back on or something along those lines. He's doing that too. And he's laughing. Okay, so I hear lots of laughing with that. Okay? And he's saying also that you have a really good sense of humor too, and you use it, and then sometimes you get worried and you forget. So he's saying find the humor in every situation. Nothing is ever that bad or that serious. Okay? And I'll leave that with you with lots of light and love. Oh, okay, thank you. That means I guess I'm done. Thank you for allowing me to serve.
That means thank you for serving Spirit. Angie, it's been my privilege today to serve this platform with Angie and with our musician Marian Madsen and our friend Nick, who makes all of this happen online and in person, and to our usher today, who is Herb Skinner. And more than that, folks, it's always our privilege to share the service with you. Now, please stand as you're able. Join me for the benediction, and then we will sing the song, Let There Be Peace. Mother, Father, God, although we as free thinkers might all disagree about what is said and what is meant, we give thanks for giving each of us different gifts and talents. May we never view ourselves as superior or inferior to others. May we encourage every person, give every person hope. Better off our world is because we are all so different. May we know that we are forever enough, and may the Spirit of peace bless you this day and in all your days to come. Amen.